Good morning. My name is Steve Kern from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and I'm happy to be here today because we've been big advocates for the idea that data should be open and shared, particularly data that's funded by efforts from our foundation, but also from our partner organizations that we work with. And why do we care about this? Well, in 2015, we started an open access policy that basically required that the results from research be published in an open access journal so that they're broadly available to the scientific community, and that the primary data with those publications also went to an open source. And when that happened, initially what we found as a result is that people were willing to comply with that, but the data and the publications were located in multiple different sources. And one of the things that you saw maybe in Rebecca's presentation, she had a slide that looked sort of like an astronomy class backdrop, right? Well, I basically likened that to the initial open data access issues. You had data everywhere sitting like an asteroid field, and now we want to actually have it become organized like a solar system where we can get something out of it, right? And so one of the issues that's really been important for us in platforms like Vivli is the opportunity to synthesize data across different repositories in different locations. It's not that Vivli has to hold all the data. It's that from Vivli you can access a lot of other data and pull it together. And why does that matter? Well, a lot of the conditions we work on for patients that are in low and middle income countries are from sites where it's very difficult to collect data, where maybe the populations are relatively small. And by being able to merge this information together, we feel we can gain more insight to understand how to advance science faster. And quite frankly, all of us have invested in this data ourselves. We all have a vested interest in it. And one of the challenges we run into is how do we get the most out of that data so it can be useful by everyone who wants to advance the science. And if we make an investment at the Gates Foundation in learning something, we want NIH or Wellcome Trust or some of our other partners to be able to make a next investment on top of us, the Helmsley Foundation, the Arnold Foundation, so that we're continuing to advance science quicker. We reduce the risk then of redundancy of studies. We don't put patients at risk for information that might already be known but undiscoverable because it's locked away in someone's file cabinet. And so this all improves the overall biomedical science field. And interestingly, if you look across other scientific fields, they've been doing this already for decades. And they look at us in biomedicine and say, gosh, why aren't you guys at this same level? So this is a great day because Vivli is going to lower the barrier. It's going to make the ability to pull in studies from different sources. We will essentially, because through our granting process, we cover the cost for open access publication. We would easily cover the cost for the curation and the housing of data in a repository like Vivli. All of our grantees don't have to use Vivli. Many of them, I think, will choose to because of the ease at which you saw you can start to begin to pull data together. And importantly, too, I hope one of the things that will come out of this is an opportunity to share the tools, because the data is the start. But the analytical tools and how I get insight from the data, that's where the ingenuity is. That's where there's some really interesting advances in science, and that's where we can learn from each other. And we're finding that once you essentially create this opportunity where people can share these resources, the resistance or the hesitation that people have had in the past seems to go away because we learn that we can gain more from collaboration than we can by sitting alone. So thank you.